Hey everyone, we are finally into the new year, Jan of 2025. So, Happy New Year!
Right, so we thought for a wrap up we would do something a bit different today. So, TJ likes reading books, I think, as we all know. So, and she's read a lot of books in 2024, maybe like 60 plus?
Yeah, around 65, yeah.
Yeah, crazy. I think I read like 20 books. So I thought we could do like a rapid fire round of all the books that she's read and what she thinks about the books. She's not allowed to look at any prior comments that she's made about books, but I'll give her maybe 3 lifelines where she can do that. And we'll try and stick to each book maybe within 30 seconds or so. We've already organised the books into categories to make it a bit easier for us. And I've got a timer here on my phone, so I'll be making sure that she sticks to the time, otherwise we just have to cut straight to the next one.
That is scary. I didn't remember a lot, but I hope I do a little bit.
All right, okay, so we're ready to go. We're going to start with romance. And we haven't got all the books physically because she likes to read in audiobooks. She's got Kindle and things like that. But whatever physical we do have, I've got them here. Otherwise, I'll just be using our list that we've made. Okay, are you ready to go?
Yeah.
Okay, let's begin. Ugly Love, Colleen Hoover. You gave this a 4 and go.
Yeah, I remember this. This was a recent one. This is about... I'm so bad at names, but I didn't find this very, very toxic. I would just say get into Colleen Hoover just knowing that therapists don't exist in her world and the female main characters have to do a lot of work. So with this...
5, 4,
this is a
3, 2,
brother's best friend.
1.
Oh
That
no!
didn't go very well.
That didn't go well.
Should we try that one again? Let's try again. That was 30 seconds.
Okay,
We're going to do a take 2.
Again.
Go.
Okay, this is a brother's best friend trope, and the FMC is planning to live with her brother for some time, and she's planning to take his extra bedroom on rent for some time while she's doing her nurse internship or something. And then she happens to meet his best friend in very weird circumstances, and that's the story going from there. Like, okay.
Nice.
I hope you like that.
Right, next one. Pumpkin Spice Cafe, Laurie Gilmore. You gave this 3 stars and go.
So Pumpkins, it's just a cozy romance. It's set in it's set in the Dream Harbor town. It's also the Dream Harbor series, and it's about a girl who inherits a cafe which is called the Pumpkin Spice Cafe from her aunt or something, and she's starting to run it. She's moved from a city and she meets this like whatever really hot farmer, and it's just like a cozy romance there. Oh, someone's at the door. Just a minute, but I think I did that well.
Second one in that series, The Simon Bun Bookstore.
Yeah, so again, in the Pumpkin Spice Cafe, you have a lot of knowing the other characters and stuff. So it's one of her new friends in that Dream Harbor town, and it is about that girl. I think her name is Hazel. I read it recently, and the love interest is Noah. And Hazel seems like she's almost about to hit 30. She wants to start doing fun things, and Noah starts helping her out to make rash decisions and live her best 20s.
That's it.
Living her best 20s. 4
Ready?
stars. Yeah.
Butcher and Blackbird.
Oh, yeah, okay.
3 stars. Go.
This was like a kind of dark romance, but it has like humorous dark romantic elements to it. It's love story between 2 serial killers, and they essentially have good morals, you'll know in the story. So it's just quirky, fun, and they start playing a game with each other where they race towards their victim once a year, and the male main character's brother is organizing this for them, and they fall in love eventually, blah, blah, blah.
Right, book lovers, we've got
hard.
a physical. This is one you've tabbed. I think this is the only one you've tabbed, right, in all your books?
Yeah, watch my
Right.
5-star reads for this.
And go.
So this is my first Emily Henry book, Book Lovers. I absolutely loved it. It's between Charlie and Nora. Yay! And they're both in the book world, and Nora is a literary agent. She meets Charlie to pitch one of her books. Charlie refuses to edit that book, and it eventually gets published and it's really famous. Then she goes to the town Sunshine Falls with her sister, which is...
That's it.
Oh,
That's it.
no! No, it's really good.
This next one is called Brightside by Kim Holden. Go.
So Brightside was the first book in a trilogy, and it's about Kate. She has moved to a new place in US, and she's gone to study there. They reveal some like really sad news in the story, and she has a best friend. His name is Gus, who is a famous band singer. He has his band around him, and it's just them being best friends, and there's a love interest that comes in. Really good. I cried in that one.
It's them being best friends. I think that was as much as you got in that one.
Okay.
30 seconds is not a lot of time.
I know, I can see that.
I don't think I could do that, to be honest. Right.
I can just speak about the three of them.
Okay, I'll give you another 30 seconds to talk about the trilogy as a whole.
Okay.
Okay, think about it as a whole.
Yeah. Okay.
And, oh wait, before we say that, the three books are Brightside, Gus, and Franco by Kim Holden, which she gave 4.5, 4, and 3.
Yes.
And go.
So yeah, the first book follows Kate's POV mostly, and the second book is from Gus's POV after a very bad incident that happened in the first, which actually made me cry really badly. So I loved both Gus's and Kate's books, but the third book is a novella from Franco's POV. He's the drummer in Gus's band, and I found that it was cute. There's completely different new blonde love interest, and it was all right. That was cute. That's all I have to say.
Perfect. Right, we've got physical again.
I'm getting better at this.
Yeah, you are. This one's called November 9 by Colleen Hoover. What do you think you gave this?
I know. I hate this one, so it's like a 2.
Okay, so you can hate it in 30 seconds.
Okay.
And go.
Okay, that's no new. A lot of people don't like this one. I think this story was a little bit too unhinged, but I guess you would know that's how Colleen Hoover writes. There is the FMC here. She's gone through a very traumatic incident from her childhood, I think, and what the MMC is hiding from her is just ridiculous. I don't know why you would end the story in the way she did. Like, they just don't deserve each other, I think.
Nice. Right, in 30 seconds again. Right, next one. We've got the Hopeless series by Colleen Hoover, which there are 5 books. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll give you a minute to cover all of them. Go, 1 minute.
So very quickly, I think this was probably a decent one. I think it was all around like 3-4-ish stars or a bit more. This felt a little bit more empathetic from Colleen Hoover. I don't know if that's right or wrong, but so Hopeless is the first main story. That's the backbone of the entire series. The second book, Losing Hope, is actually just from another perspective, like the other opponent's perspective of the love interest. And then it just moves on to there's a novella for one of the friend in that friend group, and that love story that happens. And I like that the All Your Perfects just goes to a completely different story, but then right at the end it just all ties together, and I think it was done really well. So reading this in order is really worth it, and I enjoyed it. I read it pretty close to each other, so it was good.
Done. Nice. You are getting good at this. The Love Hypothesis. I think this one was always there in all of the other YouTube people talking about books.
Yeah, right? He remembers this.
I think you've watched so many that even I know that this book exists. Okay.
I think this is one of the... Okay.
Go.
Yeah, this is one of the OG TikTok book talk books. Ali Hazelwood's first one, I think. The Love Hypothesis. Pretty famous. It's just all her... She's known for adding STEM characters, so they are both in STEM fields. And it starts when she's trying to prove to her best friend that she has a boyfriend or she's seeing someone, and she just happens to randomly kiss this guy in a lab, and he turns out to be, I think, some big shot professor, and yeah, fake dating.
That's it. Okay. Last one for romance. This one is called The Switch. What do you think you gave this?
4.
That's the safe choice, but yes.
Okay.
You did give it 4. Ready?
Okay.
And go.
Yeah, so this is about a girl, Lena. She's taken a sabbatical from work, and her grandma, I think, has offered to switch places with her in the city. So her grandma moves to her place and she moves to her grandma's house in this small town. And they've taken each other's responsibilities and how they are like getting. So it's not really much of a romance. There's a little bit of romance, but it's really cute. I loved this book.
Nice. That ends romance. We have a single one in poetry. It's called Love Poems by Brian Patton. Where did you get this book from?
I got this this is from a vintage store in south of UK, somewhere in Winchester. So they have like a vintage bookshop. So I just picked it up from there. I did want to read more poetry. I did read more poetry last year, but I just read this year, just one.
Here we go.
Okay, so this was, I did like the collection of poems in this. I would say it wasn't very out of reach. Like, if there are a little bit of England references in this, but nothing as bad, and you can understand it regardless. So the one that sticked out to me the most was A Blade of Grass. Very simple. I have
5.
I really liked it. It's a nice bunch of love poems. That's all I can say.
Okay. Right, that is per the single poetry. Now we're on to fantasy. So popular
that's
of
my
many.
favorite.
Maybe my favorite as well. And we'll start with...
Do you want to pick up the stack or no?
Well, I've got Babel first. Is that fantasy? I suppose that is.
Yes.
Yes, so, yes, that's right, I should pick up the stack. We're going to start with Babel by R.F. Kuang. What did you give that one?
5. I loved it.
Yes, you did. I did not really particularly enjoy it. I think I gave it 2.
I think I know why. No, you gave it 3.
I gave it 3, maybe. Yeah, I think it could have been a TV show. I'm not very good at English literature, so maybe that's why. I think you appreciate English more than I do. Right, okay, go.
Yeah, Babel has magical realism. It is dystopian urban fantasy, I would say, set mostly in Oxford, a fictional version of Oxford University. This boy is picked up by one of the professors from a very poor part of the world, I think China. His family is dying, so he just brings him to England, almost like adopting him, and then he trains him to get into the university, and then goes from there. Very good magic system. There's so much to it.
Fourth Wing. This is probably popular by everyone. Everyone knows who this. I've read this book, and I've read the second one, and you have not read the second one. You've just read the first one. I think we both will give this 5, right?
Yes.
Yes. Go.
It's not like I can say more, but yeah. Yeah, this is about a war school named Besgayeth, and Violet Sorrengail is the general's daughter. She wants to become a scribe, which is more like a researcher, but she ends up being pushed into becoming a rider. That means you have to go into war, ride dragons. It's very risky. You can lose your life. So very high stakes fantasy, very well-rounded book. There's everything in it, even romance, even politics.
That's it. Okay.
I can't do Babel in 30 seconds. I'm still sad about Babel.
But let's carry on for now. We don't have this one. It's called Legends and Latte. Travis Baldry. You gave that one a 4-star. Are you ready?
Yes.
Go.
Legends and Lattes is a cozy fantasy. It's following... I forgot the main character's name. But anyway, she's an orc, and... after like a lot of war works and really violent work, she wants to just open a cafe. So it's about that, like her journey about opening a business, and there's like little bit of a threat in the town, and taxes and decor, and like really good. I loved it. It's cozy.
Nice. Another one that we've got on Kindle, perhaps, Assistant to the villain, Hannah Nicole Mera, 3.75. Off you go.
This one is, again, it's a cozy fantasy, I would say. There's a girl, the FMC meets, she's trying to run from something, and she doesn't have a job. She's looking for a job. She bumps into this like really scary but handsome looking man, and he turns out to be the villain of the town, and he offers her a job to be his assistant, but he actually has a very soft spot, and you get to know him.
Even I lost track of 30 seconds there. We are now on, well, still fantasy. This one, you've called it YA dystopian fantasy. Is this an unfinished series?
Yes, I've not read the
Oh,
full
in the
thing.
wrong order. Shatter Me, Destroy Me. Is that in here somewhere?
Yeah.
Destroy Me.
Yeah.
And Unravel Me. There we go. Main character's name? Is there a main character?
There is a main character. They all have main characters, isn't it? But I just know that she can kill with her touch. That's all I remember.
Begins with J. Female.
I know she's female.
Juliet.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Right. So I'll give you. How many of these have you read? 3. Oh, there's many books
4.
in here, right?
It's
There's
4.
2.
First 4.
Okay. So is a minute enough to go through 4?
I hope so.
And go.
Okay, so I've read the first 4, which is including 2 novellas. So Shatter Me is about Juliet. She has a power that is feared. Everybody's scared of her power. She can kill with her touch. So she's put into a prison / asylum where it's a very degrading environment, and eventually she gets picked up by one of the colonels, I think, and he is apparently trying to use her power for the advantage of the new rule, or the so
20 seconds.
bad at that. But yeah, I think there's a little bit of a dual, what is it called when there are 2 people, 2 love interests? I don't know.
Triangle.
Yeah, I think there's a little bit of a love triangle. I don't know. I've not gone ahead.
5.
But I think it was all right. I gave 3 stars to all of them. I don't think I'm much of a YA person now, but
Okay.
that was so bad.
Okay. Right, this one should be easier, much easier for you, because everyone again knows what this series is. I'm sure by the colours, people know what this is. I don't have to ask you what rating you gave these.
The first one I gave 4, but the rest I gave 5.
Really?
Yeah.
Which one is that? This one?
Yeah.
I should put it this way. Okay. So again, a minute for these. Main character's name?
Feyre.
Main male character's name? I think there's a male and main character, right?
There are many, so
There
I
are
don't
many.
want. I don't want
I didn't
to.
know that. Okay. Ignore that.
There are
then.
many main. I think there are, but yeah, it's mainly Feyre. But
Okay. 1 minute.
Yeah.
And start.
Okay, so ACOTAR, or A Coat of Thorns and Roses, is a Sarah J. Maas romantasy series. You follow Feyre and her adventures. So she hunts for her family in the winter in the human lands, and she ends up hunting a wolf one day, and that wolf happens to be High Fae. So she has angered someone in the Fae lands in the Spring Court, and they come to punish her or whoever's killed the wolf. As part of the punishment, she has to leave her human lands and move to the Fae lands, to the Spring Court, and essentially live there and serve whatever the High Lord wants her to do. So,
10 seconds.
So weird. But yeah, there's a lot of adventure from there. I think I gave the first one 4 stars, the rest of them 5 stars. Oh, there are many characters. I love all of them.
That's it.
It's an amazing world.
That's it.
You need to read that one. You have to watch my 5-star reads.
We will now move on to thriller, mystery, crime, of which you only have 1 physical. And why is that?
I've said this in my 5-star video because I usually remember the plot twist. Just because I don't remember names doesn't mean I don't remember the story. I do remember the story. So I won't go and read a mystery thriller again because I'll know the story. Maybe when I'm old, I'll read it. So I have it on ebooks, most of them.
All right, so the only physical we have in this category is called In My Dreams, I Hold a Knife. You gave this 4 stars. Go.
Okay, so we follow, luckily I can read it here. There's Jessica Miller. She gets an invite to a reunion of sorts, and there's this whole big friend group, and one of their friends was mysteriously murdered in her dorm room. And so the vibes of this is really good. I think I would read this again, even though there's a mystery element to it. So it's the mystery gets solved in that reunion, basically. It's really good.
That's it.
I liked it. Gossip
Right.
Girl.
Next one is called The Only One Left by Riley Sager.
Ooh, that was very good.
Go.
I can see there 4.5. I gave it 4.5. This one was about a girl who gets to go work as a caretaker for this old woman, and there's like it's known fact that she was the prime suspect of a mass murder that happened in that house. It's like an old mansion, so the father, mother, and I think the sister of the family was killed, and she was the prime suspect, but they were never able to prove that.
Was that 30 seconds? I think I zoned out myself. I'm sorry.
Okay, let me just finish that. Like,
Okay,
how
go
will
on.
you be convinced?
I'll give you one free one.
Yeah, so she was a prime suspect of her family members, obviously, but they couldn't prove it. That's why she's just living her days in that mansion, and she's paralyzed essentially. So she needs a caretaker, and the main character gets the opportunity to go and look after her. So it has all that creepy mansion vibes, and yes, there's like good thriller element to it also. And the mystery also is very good. The plot twists are nice.
Yeah, you gave that 4.5, but you
Yes.
actually have a 5-star in this category. So there is a book that you would recommend the most for this year
Yes.
for thriller mystery crime.
Yes, yes. I don't know if it's 5 or if it was 4.75, but there is one that's better than this, I think.
All right, moving on, we've got Everyone Here Is Lying by Shari Lapina, 4.25.
Yes, so this
Okay.
was about this was about like a family, again, a family murder. Like, I think the parents were murdered, and it's the children are the suspects, and I just remember the story unfolded really well. The writing pace was very good. Like, you felt like you kept knowing more and more. I couldn't guess the end. I think Shari Lapina is a
5.
good author. I would want to read more of her books.
Nice, 28 seconds. The Locked Door, Frida McFadden, 4 stars. Go.
The Locked Door, there's a young girl who disappears apparently, and that's the case. So it's just the family and the police trying to find out where she is. Is she dead or alive? And yeah, this was also a bit unhinged. I partially guessed the end
5.
for this one, but yeah, I didn't guess all of it, but so it was good.
This is the book that we think is the best that you've read this year. Do we agree?
Because it was...
It's called None of This Is True by Lisa Jewell. Go.
So None of This Is True, again, it's in my 5-star reads. There's Alex and Josie are birthday twins, and they run into each other at a restaurant when Josie finds out that Alex is her birthday twin. And then Alex is a podcaster / journalist, so she records podcasts at home. She invites Josie to start doing podcasts on birthday twins, and then it eventually becomes a podcast about Josie's life, because a lot of things are unraveling. Josie is weird. There are weird things happening. Ending was amazing.
That's it. Right, historical mystery, which is a subgenre inside thriller mystery crime. And it is the series. I'll give you 1 minute for the series. The series is the first book is called A Rising Man.
Yes.
So we are calling it The Rising Man.
So it's actually it's the
Is that the
Captain
name?
Wyndham series. So it's you can start the timer.
Okay, 1 minute. Go.
So this is historic because it is based in India during the British rule. The first one is set in Kolkata or Calcutta back then, and there's a British officer named Captain Wyndham, and he has a subordinate named Surendranath, but they call him Surendranath, and it's like dual police officers trying to solve crime. So there are 5 books. I've read the first 4, listened to the 3.
Halfway.
Then each of them are mysteries. There's also like a continuation story going on because Wyndham is going through his own, like he has an addiction issue, so the locations change. I remember the second one is in Sambalpur, like very good Indian references about the queens and the Hindu rituals and like even like Muslim territories, and it's really cool. Like there are freedom fighters. A lot of the scenes happening in the story are actual things that happened in the past, except the plot is obviously fiction.
That's it.
No,
that was good. That was a lot of words in 1 minute.
There was more.
I think
Wait, I can just say the third one is called
Smoke and Ashes.
So second is Unnecessary Evil, third is Smoke and Ashes, and the fourth one, Death in the East, which was my favorite, the most well-rounded of all of them.
Next category we've called contemporary or literary.
No, wait, sorry. Wait, Death in the East?
We're done.
No, but I forgot. That was not in my 5-star reads, but it is actually a 5-star. I
Okay.
forgot to add that in my 5-star.
So again, contemporary fiction, literary fiction. Our next category. What Dreams May Come by Richard Matheson. Go.
This was from my book club that I'm in. Richard, no, not the author. The main character is dead after dies in an accident. And can I get more time? Can I start that again,
To
please?
start again.
I was like fumbling for 15 seconds.
Okay, go.
Yeah, the main character dies in an accident, and he has this astral body that is still conscious and on Earth. So there is like paranormal and religious elements to the story, and then he's trying to like reach to his wife and kids to let them know that he's doing fine. Then he like transcends to the different planes and stuff, and it's about that, like how he's trying to help his wife from that like higher plane. It's just.
That's it.
There's so much to it though.
Before the Coffee Gets Cold by Toshikazu Kawaguchi. You gave it 3
Yes.
stars. I've heard this book many times as well, but I have not read this book.
It's a famous Japanese fiction.
Go.
Okay, so this is about a coffee shop that has time travel in it. So there are lots of rules around how you can travel back in time and what you can and cannot do in that time. You can't change the outcome in the present and blah, blah, blah. So in the whole book, there are like 3 or 4 chapters of like 4 different instances,
5.
episodes of this time travel done by 4 different people. And they're all kind of connected. So it's okay.
It was okay. You gave it 3 stars.
Yeah,
Which I guess
it was
is
okay.
rating, isn't it? Normal People by Sally Rooney, which you gave 3 stars. Go.
Yeah, so Normal People was my first Sally Rooney book. I think she's Irish, or it's set in Ireland. I would just say it's not very memorable to me, to be honest. Like, I just vaguely remember the vibe and what the story was about. This is maybe one of the few books like that. So I just know that she has this like a very melancholic tone to her
5.
writing. There are very like poetic lines to it. I did annotate a little bit, but it was again okay for me.
Another one by Sally Rooney. Why did you read that book then? Normal People.
Because like Sally Rooney is really well known and respected. Like I think I get it. It's not bad. It's not like I still gave it like 3. It's not
Yeah.
a bad book.
It's just
but
not
it
for
was
you.
yeah, because I like there to be a little bit more of a happy, jovial, or
A different vibe. You're looking for a different
you know,
vibe
like
in the book.
when you read Shakespeare, like he throws these like characters in which their literal job is to make you think, like in a melancholic tone. Like Shakespeare, even comedies have like a melancholic character. I don't know if you know this, but it's like he uses them to balance out the feel of the. So if there's a tragedy, not a tragedy, I'm talking mostly about Shakespeare comedies, like there'll be like fun stuff happening and happy things happening, but there will be a melancholic role who will come and like spew out some poetic line that will make you look at the more like low part.
Okay.
You know, the low feeling. So I feel
Yeah.
like what I felt from the Sally Gully. No, what I felt from Sally Rooney's writing is that she has that like melancholic character's feeling. Just that is the flavor of her writing. So the whole writing has that.
Okay.
So even though like you have like all her characters are flawed, they are in a way relatable. Like you may not even get a good like satisfying ending, but that carries, like that feeling just carries throughout the book. So it's not for me. There are people, it is a well-known fact even for me that I enjoy sad books and sad stories more, but that's just human nature. But there are like different ways of doing it. Like I didn't like this way of doing it. Like there's not much sad things happening, but her writing feels sad to me.
Well, then we've got another one by Sally Rooney. Beautiful World, Where Are You? Which you gave 3.5.
Yes. Yeah, I think this one, so what happened here was I gave this a higher rating than normal people. It was the second book I read, but I was more familiar with what Sally Rooney's writing style is, so it didn't come as a shock to me. Like, so I was kind of expecting that, and then I could focus more on the story and the anecdotes, metaphors, and her, like, some parts of it, again, poetic. I could focus on that better and appreciate it more. So I think it's something like you grow into that Sally Rooney type of, you know,
Okay.
fiction.
Yeah. I just let you go on that one. Back to a 5-star. The winners, Frederick Bachman.
Oof.
Right.
Oof.
30 seconds. Go.
30 seconds is not enough. I'm just going to say
on,
Winners is the third book in the Beartown trilogy. And you already know what is going to happen in the end of Winners in the first book. So without spoiling it, like, it's just about like how you get there and how something happens to one of the characters and another thing happens to another character. It's just about that. Like, Frederick Bachman has an amazing writing style. Many people, not just me, look at Goodreads numbers. He's amazing.
By R.F. Kuang again, but instead of fantasy, this is now fiction. This one is called Yellowface. This was very, very memorable, right? I think we heard this together as an audio book.
Yeah, this was an audiobook we listened to.
Go.
So Yellowface is about this author in the book world, and she has a friend who's much more famous than her, and they were just hanging out after like a night of drinking, and her friend, the famous one, chokes on a pancake or something and dies. So it's a satire on the book industry, and the main character is pretty unhinged. She seems like neurotic sometimes, but it's just a satire. It's a nice read.
That's it.
I hope you got it. I hope you understood.
I recommend reading that book, even if it was not covered in 30 seconds. Okay, this one we have physical. It's called The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. This was in your 5-star video as well. I remember this one, Taylor Jenkins Reid, and that's also the show, which is also a book.
Oh yeah, Daisy Jones.
That's it. So everyone, I think a lot of people know this author anyway. Yeah. Go.
Yeah, okay. So Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, Taylor Jenkins Reid. Again, great author. I personally love her writing style. This is about Evelyn Hugo. She's giving an interview to Monique, who is a less experienced person in a magazine. And Evelyn Hugo requested specifically Monique to interview her after a long time. So yeah, it's just about Evelyn Hugo's life and everything you learn. It's really good. This is hard to do, okay?
Yeah, I think it
is
is very
hard.
Easier said than done, yeah. Right, this one is called Where the Crawdads Sing, which is, there's a film? I think that's
there is
a
a film now, yes.
Based on this. By Delia Owens, and you gave it 3 stars. Ready? Main character's name?
I'm just gonna call her Marsh Girl.
Okay, go.
Yeah, so it's about a marsh girl, and she's ended up living alone. So I think there's a dual timeline here going on. There's a murder mystery also happening. So Marsh Girl is the suspect, and you learn like how she became the Marsh Girl and how she's surviving on her own. And there's a love interest in it as well. Like, and then you just find out like, did she kill this person or not? And it's just that story. I enjoyed it, but there's a lot of things about marshland.
That's it.
So if you don't enjoy that, you may not like it.
The Morning Star by Carl Ove Ooh. Nausgard, perhaps?
Karlove. Ooh.
It's because I don't know how to pronounce it.
Yeah.
Okay, The Morning Star, which came from your book club.
Yes.
And you gave it 1 star.
It was actually 0, but Goodreads doesn't allow you to give
Okay,
0.
0 stars. Is 30 seconds enough to say how you don't like this book?
It's not.
It's not. I'll give you 45
no,
for this.
okay.
Ready?
Okay, yeah.
Go.
So in Morningstar, you follow multiple POVs, and it's about like just people going about their very, very sad, suffering lives. And one morning they happen to see the morning star. If you know, in like Christian, it has religious references, Christianity or whatever. Literally nothing happens, I would say, in like 700-800 pages, without insulting anyone. I would just say if there's an essay in the end, which is a very long essay. If that was a novella, I would have given it a much higher rating. Like, you essentially just need to read the essay at the end, and that does the job for the whole book. The entire plot was just pointless.
The book was like 900 pages or something, right?
Oh, was it? Yeah.
I think I remember you saying
It's my fault. I don't DNF.
Yeah, I tried to convince her to stop reading this book, but she would not. And I think that sort of damaged your reading goal for the year, didn't it? Because I was like...
Not by much. Like, I would have maybe read like 3 books in that time, but yeah.
But 3 good books. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know why.
That is just our opinion, of course.
Yes.
If we go contrasting to the other side, we've now got a very shining 5-star. The Covenant of Water, Abraham Verghese. Verghese, sorry. I'll give you again 45 seconds because I know how much you love this book. This again was in her 5-star.
I did almost start crying talking about this in the 5-star reads actually. It's just too good.
You had a lot of time to talk about it in the 5-star, but now you've only got 45 seconds.
Yes.
Go.
Okay, so this one is a multi-generational story set in South India, mainly Kerala. You follow a family, especially this woman who is married off at the age of 12 to a 40-year-old man, and you follow that family for about 3 generations, so starting 1900 to about 1980s. And there are other POVs that come into the story, something from Chennai, something from England. It's again the colonial times of India, partly. So beautiful story. The vibes of Kerala are just immaculate. It's written flawlessly. There are so many quotes that is just stuck to my memory. You have to pick this one up.
That was a demand.
It is a demand. Like, please read it.
Okay, non-fiction. Almost all of these books we had listened together audio.
Almost all of them, yeah.
First one, What You Got Here Won't Get You There by Marshall Goldsmith. I think I gave it a 4. Go.
Yeah, so this is mainly like his advice to like CEOs and higher ups in corporations as to like, oh, you've already reached that position, now how do you get even better? So it's methods of collecting feedback, constructive and destructive from your colleagues and family as well, and then how you incorporate changes using that. So it's just great for anybody really. So I've started to try this year. Let's see if it works.
Nice. This is probably one of our favourite books, or maybe one of my favourite books of all time.
It's maybe the favourite non-fiction of mine, yes.
It's called, we have a physical because we loved it so much, we went and bought it physically. It's called Ultra Processed People. Why do we all eat stuff that isn't food, and why can't we stop? By Chris Van Tulleken. We listened to an audiobook, we bought it, we recommended it to everyone that we could think of, and it's definitely changed the way that we've eaten. So in 30 seconds, go.
Yeah, so this one is about the food industry, as you can tell, and he talks about, he says it in a way where he's not advising you what to eat or not eat. He just says that it is not your fault. For your bad eating habits is not your fault, and he's just educating you in a way that you would eventually just start getting disgusted and grossed out by what you get very easily in supermarkets, like the chemically food, like stabilizers, emulsifiers, flavoring agents, yada yada, like all that stuff. I hope I did that justice in 30 seconds.
For me, if there's any book that you should read, it's this one. Definitely this one. How to Be a Boss, A Guide to Conquer by Lily Singh. Go.
So this was one of Lily Singh's first books, I think, self-help books, and it's just different chapters, very simple points to just uplift you, increase your confidence, and it's a very like action-oriented one. So there's also pages to like write down the steps and your experience and things. So it's a great gift for teenagers, like just below 20 years.
Right.
Like it's very good. I enjoyed it. Simple tips.
Nice. Well explained. Feel Good Productivity, How to Do More by Ali Abdaal. You gave it 3 stars. Go.
I just remember this one being, it had a lot of simple points that I already knew about, at least most of them, but it was put in a very well phrased and well structured way. So don't get me wrong, you can actually listen to it or read it and take a good amount of like reminders and advice from it. It's just more about being productive in a more optimistic way, I would say.
I agree on that one. It was nothing too new,
Novel.
but it was,
There was
for
nothing.
me, they had good refreshers.
Yeah.
So it's good to listen to at least once. Next one, The Psychology of Money by Morgan Housel. You gave that 2 star. I think I gave it more than that. Do you remember that one?
Yeah.
Go.
Yeah, I think that was the first audiobook that I listened to this year. I gave it 2 because it was very like so tangential writing, like it goes off in all these different tangents, and it didn't have a very like structured and step-by-step approach, which I don't enjoy. It's more like if you understand the crux of it and the idea or the principle that it's trying to teach you, you will benefit from it. But I felt it was very like far-fetched
Wow, that was
in the way it was written.
a really fast 30 seconds. Yeah, I'm sure I gave it more stars, but I actually don't really remember it.
Maybe exactly. It's like it's written as like a fever dream. You know, like you will read it, you might like it or not like it, but literally ask yourself few months later, it just feels like a dream that you don't remember much.
Yeah, I remember much more the next book, which is Rich Dad Poor Dad
Yes.
by Robert T. Kiyosaki, which we gave 4.5.
Okay. This one is controversial. Like I personally loved the book. It's just because some of the things he has mentioned, like a lot of like money influencers and money experts have said that it is just bullshit, like what he's saying. Oh, I should not say that on YouTube, sorry. But I think I have followed some of it even before having seen in that book, read it in that book, but I think it works for me. So if it works for me, it works for me, okay? If it doesn't, you don't like it, keep that opinion with you.
This one is called The Witch of the Forest's Guide to Earth Magic. Do you remember where you bought this one from?
The Works.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought we bought this in a London shop.
No.
Okay, right. Do you remember how much you gave it?
4?
You gave it 4. Yes, it's a very cool looking book. Okay.
This is a instruction booklet on how to get into elemental magic. I will be honest, I have not really tried this. Maybe I just find this fascinating, like witchcraft. There are different kinds of witchcraft, and it teaches you about like different minerals and stones and flowers and how it can be used with the different elements and the basics of spell ritual magic.
Nice.
I don't know if it works.
Unfinished by Priyanka Chopra Jonas, which you gave 3.5 stars. Go.
Unfinished is a memoir essentially about Priyanka Chopra's life. I think the first 20, 30 years, I think. Oh no, maybe more than that. I personally really enjoy Priyanka's interviews and her whenever she comes in podcasts and stuff. So it's really nice life lessons about just a normal, confident woman and what she has learned throughout her life, and I enjoyed it.
We're on to graphic novels as our last category. The first one, a manga called Goodbye Eri. Go.
Goodbye Eri is following a boy in school who submits a film that he created for a film festival, and it has a very weird ending, and he thinks it's a genius ending, but nobody else thinks that, and they they're just like scorning him and speaking ill about like, oh, how can you make that? And then he meets a girl at a rooftop, and
Right.
she sees watches the film or something, and she happens to love the ending, so she starts guiding him into filmmaking.
That's it.
It's very good.
That was probably a good
It was very
cliffhanger.
good.
Last one. This one is on Netflix, which you've seen or almost finished.
Almost seen, yeah.
It's called the Heartstopper series,
Yes.
graphic novel series.
Yes.
I'll give you 1 minute to talk about this as our
Yeah.
last one.
Yep.
Oh, it's heavy. Okay.
It's by Alice Oseman. The first 2 books I gave 4 stars, and 3, 4, 5 I gave 5 stars.
Let's go.
Yeah, okay, so the Heartstopper series is a graphic novel, very easy to read, appropriate for any age. It's about Nick and Charlie. They meet at school, become friends, and Charlie already has a crush on Nick, and eventually they fall in love and they start dating and stuff. So it's about like, there's a lot of LGBTQ representation and how they tackle the problems that come with it. And there's other LGBTQ representation as well. It also has some trigger warning topics like eating disorder. There's, I think, anxiety also. So yeah, you can look at those trigger warnings. But I would say Alice Oseman has really made her characters very empathetic, and even the ones that are mean, like the way the
5.
friend group deals with it and addresses it is really amazing. This is like,
Go on, last one. Finish it off.
this is like almost training for school kids on how to build empathy, I would say, this series. So, and it's a good education book for adults who are not familiar with these modern day Gen Z-ish problems at school.
All right, and that covers all of them. How
Yay.
was that? That looked very
That
hard.
was very stressful.
Yeah.
That's
I think-
that's extremely, it doesn't do justice for a lot of these books. But yeah, hopefully like when we do like other book content, there is more time to discuss and talk about these. Like there are books from 2023 and 2022 that also we would have read. I'm not doing the 30 seconds anytime soon again. This is like, I'll
Too
put
much.
him on the spot. Let's see how he does.
I already said I can't do it, but it does look very hard. But yeah, you got through all of them. That was good. You did well.
Thank you. Well, you did well asking me and passing me books.
I had the easy job. All right. Thanks, guys. Hope you enjoyed that. If you made it this far, let us know if you still like the 30-second approach, or if you'd rather it be more sensible, so you can hear a proper summary of each book. But we thought that would just be a bit of fun for the start of this year. And yeah, hope to see you on our next videos. See you later.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.